Try this again. Can you hear me now? Okay, let's turn it down. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome us to another edition of Melanated Thought. I am your host, Radio.
And I'm Mimi the lady.
And what a lovely lady she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
All right. So we got a pretty good show to talk about today, man, because we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about cooning, and we're going to talk about being buck broken. Now, why we're talking about those three subjects at that particular time is because of this. A lot of people like to attribute mental health with people for as an excuse for cooning and being buck broken. But I beg to differ, and so does my co-host.
Yes, I do.
Because we just don't think that, there's no excuse for, selling out your own people and who you are and what you stand for.
Right.
So, anyway, because we already know that Kanye West, or as I like to call him, Kanye West, has put his bid in for the presidency. And to be completely honest with you, he can't be any worse than the fool we got in office right now.
Sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, and that's real sad because we already know he's not qualified to do his job. No. Kanye isn't. Mm-hmm. And then the idiot in chief, who's in office right now, we already know he's not qualified to do the job he's doing, because look at the state of the country right now. Because as of right now, thanks to him, the United States of America is the laughingstock of the so-called free world.
Yes, it is.
So let's go ahead and get started with this whole thing about mental health. But before we get started on that, I want to take this time out to tell everybody, I'm going to start something new. Well, we're going to start something new because we discussed this before. Books that every black person should read. And no, we're not talking about the Holy Bible, ladies and gentlemen. These are books that every black person should read. Because they're very pivotal, and then they can help us out a whole lot if people actually pick the book up and read. It's one of my favorite books about one of my heroes. It's the autobiography of Malcolm X. Because for the longest time, there's a lot of folks out there that never knew who Malcolm X was until Spike Lee did that movie.
Yes.
And I think that part of our history needs to be told. It needs to definitely be one of those things that we hold near and dear to us. But unfortunately, we don't really talk about that very much, and that's cool. But it's all about educating yourself and staying educated. So definitely pick that up if you haven't already done. I first read it when I was like 13, 14 years old, and that's, like I said, it's one of my favorite books. I'll pick that book up right now and start reading it until I finish it.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely that's one book that everybody needs to read at least once in a lifetime. So the autobiography of Malcolm X, written by Alex Haley, and that's all I got on that. So let's go ahead and get started on the subject of mental health. I'm quite sure that most people out here have at least one person in their family, or past or present, that has mental health issues. I know I do.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we need to talk about what is mental health. What is the definition of it?
You got the definition of it right there in front of you, so go around the head.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read from Webster's. And it's according to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community.
Right.
Now, I just read that, and I also noticed that there are 4 types of mental illness that I never knew about. It's mood disorder, such as depression or bipolar disorder. Bipolar being one that we're going to touch on a little bit today.
Right.
Anxiety disorder. I never heard of that one.
I have.
Personality disorders. I've heard of that one. Psychotic disorder, such as schizophrenia. We've all heard of that one. An eating disorder. Personally, never heard of that one. and trauma-related disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder. I heard that's mostly like with servicemen.
Right.
What is it, PTSD?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And substance abuse disorder. I didn't know that was considered mental.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think one of the most popular two that we know about is going to be bipolar disorder
and
schizophrenia and substance abuse. Those three, I should say.
I never knew substance could be considered mental. Do you think that's mental? It's just somebody maybe went to a party and tried it and liked it? I mean, there's different ways of.
Yeah, you got a point there. Yeah. That's a really good point.
But do you really have to have a mental disorder if you want to smoke a blunt every now and then?
I don't really think that's a disorder. I think that's I think it's more of a choice.
Exactly. So I don't know if that's mental.
I mean, I know a lot of folks that indulge in the puff pass,
right?
And they're quote unquote normal.
Exactly.
So they that can be taken a whole lot of different ways. It really can.
I'm a little. Maybe they mean like when they say substance, like maybe the hard stuff like coke and what's the new thing everybody doing now?
Yeah, alcohol abuse.
Oh, alcohol! I didn't think about alcohol.
Yeah. Because a lot of people out there, they get drunk so they can start thinking about the problems that they're having
to escape.
Right. Yeah, it's a form of escapism, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. But that was a good definition. And some of those things I don't really think were really disorders.
Me neither. Not at all.
I mean, okay, I get it.
I mean, honestly, don't we all have, like, for instance, don't we all have 2, 3, 4 personalities in us?
Some of us do.
I mean, I do. I mean, I have a me, and I have a shell, and I have my government, and then we all have different personalities. So would that be considered mental, or does it go like another line of personality?
Well, and for the record, y'all, I've seen all those personalities at one point. So.
And they're all lovely, aren't they?
I think so. I mean, because whenever I'm kicking it with the homies or whatever, I'm one way, and then when I'm at work, I'm professional.
Right.
I don't, speak the slang and all that stuff. And when I'm dealing with my clients, that's pretty much a business too. I'm 100% professional.
Right.
So I guess we do have kind of sort of personality disorder. Personalities.
We have
not necessarily disorders.
No,
they're just personalities. Just different ways that different times and different ways that we act.
Different personalities for different situations.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to put that. That's a really good way to put that. Hold on, let me turn your mic up just a little bit.
I'll move a little closer. It's
no, you're good. No. Just you turn up just a little bit, so you're good.
Well, let me ask you, personally, what is your quote-unquote definition of a mental health?
Oh, man, I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't have to add anything to it.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, your mental health is important, and that's the main reason why we chose this subject to talk about, because in the black community it's something that we don't really touch upon quite a bit. We don't touch upon it at all. We try to sweep it up under the rug, because a lot of folks, just like in the movie what is Soul Food?
So for I just would say Uncle G up in the room.
Yeah, and he was up in the room because he had mental issues. So and that's pretty much how we keep our people. Unfortunately, we just put them back in that back room when not to go back in that back room.
Correct.
Because they'll say, "Oh, he crazy," or
don't mess with him.
Oh, he ain't right in the head, or as an old folks to say, he's touched.
Right, he's a little touched.
He's a little touched. So you leave him alone. He ain't all there.
Right.
But that right there by itself speaks volumes. So, which brings us to Mr. Kanye West. Now, this dude right here. Oh man! In my personal opinion, I think that Kanye hasn't been right since his mom passed away.
Okay, let me do this before you speak on that.
Okay.
And then we can see if he relates to any of these signs.
All right.
One sign is long-lasting sadness or irritability. Extremely high and low moods. Excessive fear, worry, and anxiety.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Social withdrawal.
Okay.
And dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits. I'm gonna say this before you start speaking on Kanye. the man made beautiful music.
Oh, no doubt. I love Kanye's music.
I'm a rap fan, not like you. This baby here, he's a soulful head. Soulful head, a hip hop head. But I can truly say there are some of Kanye music I truly adore.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, he's
and
a genius.
I think I kind of diverted away or pulled back from him when he made Jesus walks. And then he turned around and said that he was Jesus.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Keep talking, baby.
Okay. So other than that, I just feel like he like I said, he made beautiful music. Everything was good, but like I said, Jesus Walk is such an awesome album, record, however you want to put it. But when he started claiming that he was Jesus, and he just he lost me there. And like when he started doing all kind of different type of interviews, and he was saying weird things, but I'm gonna let Reggie speak on that a little bit further before I go ahead and speak on that as well. But I just want to make a point that before we get started saying anything about him, he made beautiful music.
Oh yeah, no
and
doubt.
in the beginning, I think the first thing you and I discussed, the first issue that I started saying that he was correct, but everything seemed a little weird when Katrina hit.
Right.
And he said that George Bush didn't care about black people.
I love that.
Okay, and then after that, it seemed like everything he said after that was just like, did you hear what he said? What did he just say? So I'm going to go ahead and let Reggie take over now because he has a different perspective of Kanye West than I do.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. he got to the point to where he said some pretty profound stuff. But then after a while, like I said, right after his mom passed away, right after, no sooner than his mom passed away, he came up with some stuff, man, that was completely off the wall.
Right.
So with that said, he came to the point to where he was like, he was real profound at one point. And then he got to the point to where he wasn't profound anymore.
And yeah, he was, but I know people deal with death differently, so can you really say that all of this is contributed to his mother's passing? I've even heard some people say that it's the Kardashians' fault. But do we really can you really blame another person for someone's mental state?
Well, the thing of it is,
is it an experience kind of thing?
Well, I'm not going to say that with him being with the Kardashians isn't detrimental to his mental health, because they have driven some people crazy. Look at Bruce Jenner.
Is that crazy, or he just decided to live his best life?
I don't. You know what?
He's like, I'm tired of being known as the best athlete in the world. I'm ready to be the best female in the world because women rule the world.
Hey, man. Hey, you know what? Under normal circumstances.
Well, they said Bruce, and then Lamar, and then they even said their brother. What's the little brother name? He still haven't gotten it together either. He's lost a little bit of mind. So what you said, they emasculate every male in their family.
That's just my personal opinion. Think about this for a second. That Kim Kardashian I don't like doing celebrity news, but since we're on the subject, I'll go ahead and speak on it. At one point in time, Kim Kardashian was dating Reggie Bush. Remember that? Mm-hmm. When Reggie Bush and the New Orleans Saints won a Super Bowl, they were interviewing Reggie Bush. She took over the damn interview.
Oh.
Watch that. You need to watch that.
Yeah.
She took over the whole damn interview. He couldn't get 2 words in.
Yeah.
It's like she won the damn Super Bowl.
I think she was trying to promote their show at that time, though.
She probably was, but still, come on, man. This man won the Super Bowl. What did your stupid ass do? Nothing.
You gotta get that KKK brand out there. Not KKK. I'm sorry. I apologize. My bad.
And speaking of apologies, my man Nick Cannon. You know what? I am a Nick Cannon fan.
Me too.
I like Nick Cannon.
Me too.
I ride with Nick.
I do too.
But Nick got to ride with Nick. I'm just saying. Nick has to ride with Nick because I saw the interview that he did with Professor Grill.
Oh, you did see it?
I did
okay,
see it. I
just
saw the whole
heard
thing.
of it.
I saw the whole thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
before they took it down, before all this crap happened, I see that interview because
Okay, so you can give us a good perspective of it.
right, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, from what he was saying was historically was correct by saying that black people are the original Jews. Which the original Jews were black. This is historical fact, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't something that's being considered. This isn't something anti-Semitic. It's a fact. So, and he apologized for something that he didn't even do. That goes along the lines of being buck broken. That's what I mean by being buck broken, right there. Because he's apologizing for something that he didn't even say or do, and that's not fair to him. But which brings me back to my original statement. I ride with Nick, but Nick got to ride with Nick.
So what do you mean? You think he did it to appease the masses?
That's exactly what he did. Nick got a taste of what Hollywood politics is really about. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Just because you're in Hollywood, don't be under the illusion of inclusion. Plain and simple.
Nice.
Right. You can't do that because, like, the second you start being, the second you start thinking that you're part of that crowd, they're gonna snatch the rug right from under your feet, and you're gonna fall on your ass.
Yeah.
Ask Michael Jackson.
Oh.
That's a prime example right there. God bless the dead.
Yes.
You know, ask Bill Cosby. He'll tell you flat out. You know, so.
Well, who successfully recovered? I think in a way they tried to do our boy Dave Chappelle like that, but Dave Chappelle probably he shook him a little bit before he even got to him.
Dave Chappelle was smart.
But then look how they did Kevin Hart. But do you think Kevin Hart has recovered from that little incident?
Kevin Hart, again, that's when they buck break you right there. They buck broke Kevin Hart. They told that, I mean, there's not a comedian on this planet that hasn't said something about homosexuals.
Absolutely.
Not one.
Not even a comedian, just a normal person.
Thank you, a normal person. Because I know I made fun of them, especially. Not that I'm homophobic, people. I am not homophobic. Don't get me wrong. I am not homophobic.
Yes.
But because I got gay folks in my family, lots of them.
Gay folk, all right.
You know, I do. You know, I don't. You know, I don't.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do.
And everybody done said something, you know.
Yeah.
Cause they like I was telling you earlier, like when we was little and we used to play, we were like, oh, forget you, fag. Excuse me, no pun intended, no disrespect to anybody.
Right, exactly.
But that's what we used to say when we was little. So even though we didn't really know what it was, just something we probably heard, thinking it was going to hurt that person's feeling.
There you go.
Not someone's livelihood or how they relate to themselves.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And even though we didn't know that was a derogatory word either.
Right.
You know,
we were just talking.
Kids.
We were just children talking,
exactly.
man. I mean, come on. We were just messing around. Because I remember saying my boys all the time, "I'll shut up, fag." You know, or shut up, faggot. You know, whatever. You know, we didn't know.
Absolutely.
But as we got older, you know, with which age comes wisdom with most of us, not all of us.
Some of us, yeah. Exactly.
Some of us, you know, with age comes wisdom. So with that being said, we have grown a little bit, a whole lot, some of us. And like I said, I don't have anything against homosexual people. Nothing at all. But like I said, it's not.
So why do you think Hollywood, quote unquote, made him do such a tap dance?
Because like I said, well, and we've had this discussion before too. Two groups of people control Hollywood. Jews, homosexuals. They run Hollywood. You can say whatever the hell you want to say about everybody. You can get on stage. You can say nigga 100 million times. Nothing will happen to you.
No.
But the second you say faggot, there's a problem. Or the second you say something about Jews, there's a problem.
Exactly.
There was a comic. He's a white comedian. His name was Lenny Bruce. He used to talk bad about everybody. He didn't care. He left no stone unturned. He was really controversial, quote unquote. Richard Pryor had said on several occasions that he got a lot of his stage presence from Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce would talk bad about Jews. He talked bad about homosexuals. He talked bad about Italians, the Irish, black people. You know, like I said, he left no stone unturned. He was a comedian. So that's what he did. And like I said, there have been several comedians that have talked bad about homosexuals. I mean, you can't be a comedian without talking bad about homosexuals. Eddie Murphy did a lot. You know, but the second Kevin Hart wanted to host the Oscars, all of a sudden, back in XYZ year, you said this about homosexuals. We want you to apologize.
Right.
So they got Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart apologized. He got butt broken. I mean, I'm not taking anything from Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has helped a whole lot of people in the entertainment industry. Helped them to pay their bills. And
So
I'm
do
not
you
mad.
think he should apologize like Nick Cannon did?
No, I don't think he should.
So you
I
think
mean,
he should have
just stuck to your guns. I mean, you got to ride with yourself, man. Plain and simple. I can pretty much guarantee you, one comedian I know won't apologize about what he said. That's Eddie Griffin. He will
I haven't
not
heard
apologize.
that name in a while.
Man, I'm an Eddie Griffin fan.
Wow.
Cat Williams either.
You don't think Cap would
No,
apologize?
no. It ain't in him. It's not in him.
But I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here. Since he hasn't for some things he said, where is he?
Good question. I mean, you know, he's still touring and everything, but
So
still.
are they blackballing? And at the word we use blackballing him as well?
I wouldn't doubt if they were. I would not doubt it because he's unapologetic about his, and that's what I like about people like that. You know, same deal with another one of my favorite comics, Corey Holcomb. You know,
my God.
he's real adamant about what he said.
Oh yes, he is.
So I'm not mad at that brother either. That brother can talk as much as he wants to talk about whatever. He's not going to apologize because that's not how he's built. So. I
So
mean,
is it more or less like a pride, or is it a financial? Do you think they apologize so it won't hurt their pockets, or do you think they won't apologize because they prideful what they say they stand behind their word? Two different things.
well, I think that a lot of them, they're scared since they're in the realm of Hollywood that they're scared that their paycheck gonna dry up. That's just my personal opinion, but. I look at it like this, man. My grandfather told me this a long damn time ago. All money ain't good money. I mean, when you gotta bow down and snivel and stuff like that just so you can get your paycheck, you don't need the paycheck.
Right.
So that's just my view on that situation. So if anybody has anything else to add to that, hey, by all means, baby, add to it. If you got something else to say, but that's just my personal opinion.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, if it was me. I would just stand by what I said. Did I say it? Yeah, I said it.
What if they come to you with an ultimatum? Like, sir, we heard you say this. That's not anything that we will tolerate in our network or our company or however you want to do. If you have different businesses, and we would like for you to apologize before we can continue to go further and do anything that you have to do, because sometimes things happen and you say how you feel, but you shouldn't have to apologize for how you feel, you know?
I agree. Okay.
But other than that, we just, I don't know, now you have me thinking, like, I've been known to speak my mind every once in a while, not often.
That's a
Don't
lie.
you say nothing.
That's a
Don't
lie.
you say nothing.
She ain't never bit her tongue for nothing. No, I don't believe
But
that.
then it makes me wonder, like, because I've pretty much worked in corporate world all my life, and what if I said something that they didn't agree with, or that they thought was against the code of conduct for their company, but I'm standing true in my conviction when I walk, even though I don't put in tenure at this company. I mean, you know, that's kind of like a catch-22, you know?
If it
Because you still want your livelihood to be, you know.
if it compromises, this is my whole deal. If it compromises your integrity, walk away. I mean, you know, I've been in situations like that before. When it compromises your integrity, the worst thing you can do is to keep letting it compromise your integrity, because your integrity is everything. That defines who you are. So, you should never let it compromise your integrity. And that's the one thing that most people have to take under consideration, is that integrity thing, man. That's important, because my grandfather always told me, stand on what you say. I mean, if nobody like it, okay, let me keep it moving. So, and like I said, that's one of the main things. I told you this before. you speaking your mind is one of the main things I love about you. Is the fact that you do speak your mind, and you do it unapologetically.
Well, like you said earlier, let me piggyback off what you said earlier. It's like when you go to work, you're one way.
Right.
When you're with your fellas, you're one way.
Right.
Is that still standing in your truth? Or being yourself? Like my dad always say, be yourself.
Right.
Are you being yourself when you go to your office and you know you have to forgive the pun, but play the part? But then when you with me, we chilling and hanging out, and there's some things we'll talk and laugh about that you probably just won't talk and laugh about with some of your coworkers.
Right.
So are you being yourself?
Yeah, you definitely being yourself.
Okay.
Only thing you just doing certain because like
You just keep it professional.
Exactly, you're being professional because I'll be honest with you, man. If somebody asks me my opinion on something, I'm gonna give you my opinion. If you don't like it, that's just too bad.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Do somebody really want somebody to get them a booty butt answer?
Yeah.
You know?
I'll give you a BS answer that you want me
If
to
that's
do,
what you
but
want,
but I'm not gonna give it to you like that because I wouldn't be me if I did.
Absolutely.
So and that goes along the lines of being of integrity,
Right.
and that's why I said that Nick Cannon needs to ride with Nick Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
I love Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
That brother is talented. He started literally from nothing, and look at what he has now.
Right.
I mean, he was married to Mariah Carey. They signed a prenup. I mean, they're divorced now. He took what he had. She took what he has. And my man is banking.
Well, see, that's what I don't understand. Who fired him? Was it Wildin' Out or?
Yeah. Well, see, Wild Now is owned by Viacom, which is owned by Jews.
Okay. Oh. But see, I mean, it's like they did it so quick. Did they even talk to him?
No.
Did they even give him an option to?
They pulled. Well, I take it back. I don't know if Wild Now is owned by Jews. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. I might be wrong on that. But it's just the fact that they cut him off with the quickness.
Well, let's
They
go
play
back,
no
baby, for a
games.
minute.
Okay.
What did he say that was so offensive?
The Jews took offense to the fact that Nick Cannon and Professor Griff said that the blacks were the original Jews. Now that's a known historical fact. The original Jews.
That's a fact.
That's a known historical fact.
Yeah.
That's a known historical fact.
Right.
Historians have actually told people this. Dr. John Henry Clark, master teacher Dr. John Henry Clark, has even said this on several occasions, that the original Jews were not the Jews that we see now. So the original Jews had melanin in their skin. The original Jews had nappy hair. The original Jews looked like us.
Right.
You know, it's a known historical
Bronze
fact.
skin,
Bronze skin, yeah. Bronze skin, you know,
Woolly hair.
woolly
bronze
hair.
skin, yeah.
I mean, look at Jesus Christ. The description of Jesus Christ is right there in the Bible.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. You can't help but see that. Come on, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, how's it a white man? I mean,
don't
considering the area he comes
understand,
from.
though.
I mean, consider. I mean, let's just leave the Bible out of it for a minute. Considering the area of the world that Jesus came from, there is no way in hell that he could have been a white man.
Came out there all bright and nice and white.
Exactly. I mean, because because in that area right there, there's only two groups of white people: Romans and Greeks. He wasn't a Greek, and he wasn't a Roman.
No.
So what does that leave?
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
You think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
And Jesus was a Hebrew, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get it twisted.
Well, like I said, I love to play devil's advocate. Sometimes people are Minister Farrakhan.
Okay.
He speaks on this subject all the time.
Yes, he does.
So
And
what's the difference?
Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan. Shout out to that great brother. I'm a big fan. You know, I hope one day you listen to my show, and I hope one day to interview you on my show.
Yes.
That would be beautiful.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I have heard several of his speeches from the mid to late 80s up until now. The only time that he's never really said anything disparaging against the Jews. He's never said negative about the Jews. Only thing he's ever said about the Jews is that the Jews are out to get him for whatever reason, which is true. I mean, because I remember seeing this one speech that Louis Farrakhan was doing. They were outside having a rally, and they were saying, "Who do we want? Farrakhan. How do we want him? Dead."
Yeah.
So, you know, with that being said, the minister, I've never heard the minister say anything bad about the Jews. If anybody that's going to see the replay of this podcast has any evidence of Minister Farrakhan saying anything bad about the Jews, please show it to me so we can get that corrected if I'm wrong.
Right.
So, but for the most part, I never heard him say anything bad about the Jews ever. I mean, you know.
But I guess the reason why I brought him up is because I hear in a lot of his public speaking, he does speak of the Jews. But he also say that they are some of his most
he's got Jewish rabbis as friends.
long life friends.
Right, exactly.
So what's the difference of him speaking of the Jews and what Professor Griff and Nick Cannon did? They were just speaking of Jews being black people.
Right.
What's the difference?
There is no difference. I mean, it's just that some Jews that are out there, and what I mean by the Jews, I'm not talking about the Jews from the Middle East. I'm not talking about them because Jew is not a race. Number one, let's just be completely clear about that. A Jew is not a race. No. It's not. Okay, a Hebrew is somebody that practices the religious way of life of Judaism, which means you got black Jews, you got white Jews, you got Hispanic Jews, you got Asian Jews, you got Jews of every race on this planet. So let's just get that out the way right now. But a lot of people get that twisted.
They think
they think it's a race, and it's not a race. It's a religious practitioner, right? So, or a lot of people will say it's a way of life, just like being a Muslim, it's a way of life. It's not just a religion. They practice, they eat, sleep, drink, everything. The Judaism and Islam and Christianity for that matter.
Absolutely.
So it's not a religion because it's a religion, but it's not a race. That's just like saying that Christians are a race or Buddhists is a race. It's not. Because I know black Buddhists. One of them is really famous, Tina Turner. Yeah. So, you know, is she a Buddhist? No, she's black. Right. So.
Well. Go ahead.
She got some pretty legs there. Anyway. But at any rate,
what do you think? Okay, let's retort that back to our conversation now. Okay. What's going on with Nick Cannon? Okay. Even though he was pretty much pushed out, I don't think he voluntarily went away. Would that be considered a case of bad mental health or good mental health?
Neither. I don't think that's a mental issue at all because he was completely pushed out of his job. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it was. He didn't know how to handle it because you got to understand something. In Cannon's class, he has some of the realest people on the planet on his show. He had people like KRS-One, Dr. Joy DeGruy.
Really? I never knew he had a podcast.
Yeah.
Until this came out.
Yeah.
So you actively look at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, he had some real people on there.
Now I know if KRS-One was on it, they was speaking something more than what Professor Griff.
Come on now.
And KRS-One can really get political.
Tell me about it.
So why did they note or stop anything that they were speaking of?
Because he said something disparaging. Because according to them, he said something disparaging against the Jews, which he didn't. But that's just how white supremacy works. You know, if they say you did something, you did it.
Okay, so by you looking at the whole episode from start to finish,
right,
and then you heard about this situation, what was your first thought?
I said, what did he say? That was disparaging against the Jews. Nobody can bring me, and nobody has ever come up with what he said that was detrimental to anything to anybody of the Jewish faith.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
They cannot come up with anything, and several people have asked this question. Jason Black, the Black Authority, shout out to that brother. He said that too. He said, show me where Nick Cannon said something bad about the Jews and I'll shut up. That's pretty much what he said.
Well, the little part I saw, it's like a little soundbite. I didn't see the whole thing. Yeah. But I started thinking, then what did he say before that soundbite? Or what did he say after that?
They were talking history. They were basically talking history.
That's what it seemed like. That's what they were doing. Yeah, he was giving his
That's
opinion.
What they were doing. Just like when I had Griff on my show a couple of years back.
Okay.
When I had him on my first show, we were talking history. That's what we were talking. We started talking history, and he broke down a whole bunch of things to me. And so,
were you guys talking about Jewish?
We didn't touch on that subject.
Okay.
I mean, we probably would have if he had more time, but he was pressed for time because he had something he had to do. But the thing of it is, he didn't say anything bad about anybody.
Wow.
Just like with Nick Cannon, he didn't say anything bad about anybody.
They were just speaking their opinions.
Yeah, he was just. I mean, with Griff and Nick Cannon, like I said, you know, it's the whole I'm white and I say so. If I say you did this, you did it. There's no question about it. You did it because I said you did it. So, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. And that's why they buck broke Nick Cannon and made him apologize, which I think he should have never done. He should have stuck to his guns. Like I said, Nick should have rolled with Nick.
And then his conversation after that is kind of sad.
Oh man,
it's really sad.
Oh man, you know, like I said, they broke him down.
Yeah,
they broke him down. That's.
He's in his 30s. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's fairly young. He's not even 40 yet, man.
And to be having that kind of thought.
Yeah.
Do you think he was having that kind of thought of suicide?
I don't think that.
When you say I want to leave the planet,
when he said that right there, kind of like, you know, got me thinking. I'm like, brother, come on now. It's like not that serious.
Are you gonna fly to Mars, or do you want to leave this world?
Well, see, a lot of people think that Nick was contemplating suicide, which I don't really think he was.
A young man like that to think that, though, even if that was, that's kind of. I don't know. That's kind of rough.
I don't think he was myself.
Yeah, I mean, he's like he's stronger than that.
Right. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I think he's really stronger than that. I think
like you said, sometimes you got to watch your words.
Yeah, you do. I mean, sometimes, a lot of times you got to watch what you say and how you say it and all that good stuff. I mean, that goes with anything.
Right.
That goes with anything that goes with anything and everybody.
Right.
You know, because I've been known to say things that cut real deep.
I concur.
You ain't gotta agree. But yeah, I never realized what I say until, damn, I just say that.
Right.
And so, you know, and you know from experience, I will apologize. I will apologize. So, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You know, but yeah, I don't. You gotta watch what you say sometimes.
But okay, just say, devil's advocate here again. If he had just gotten so, because even after he made that thought, he reverted back around and make it seem like we as black people, quote unquote, his words, not mine,
right,
was giving him a hard time too.
No.
So were we giving him a hard time because he apologized?
That's exactly it.
Because and he thought that was a hard time.
That's exactly it. I mean, that's the main reason why black people were quote unquote giving him a hard time, because he apologized for something he didn't even do.
Right.
I mean, that's my only problem with Nick Cannon is the fact that he apologized for something he didn't even do.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a man, you gotta stand by what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he should know that he's a father. So you should always tell your children, you stand by what you say.
Right.
And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people whenever they were talking about when they talk about Nick Cannon, is the fact that Nick Cannon got a ride with Nick Cannon, which is what I said in the beginning. Nick Cannon got a ride with Nick Cannon.
Right.
I mean, you know, I love the brother. You know, I wish him the best, man. Of all, you know, I wish him the utmost success because the brother has been successful so far. So.
Yes, he has. To be a young man like that, and he has what, 3 or 4 shows on the same time.
Yeah, man, come on. The brother is going. He's doing his thing,
working,
man.
and plus he just got his degree. But you know what's so funny? Even after this, he met with a Jewish rabbi, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
And now he's taking classes.
Yeah.
So it's like he's taking the steps, even if he said something wrong, he's taking the steps to, I guess,
atone for what he said,
or get more aware or more knowledge of it.
Right,
I guess.
Right. That's
so
exactly
is that a good thing too?
Well, that's a good thing too, because, like, you know, I'm the kind of person, and you know this for a fact yourself. You know, if I don't know something about something, I'm going to research it first.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that's pretty much what he's doing. He's researching it
for himself, or for the masses, so the masses can see him doing it.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's doing it to appease the Jewish community, and he's doing it to appease himself.
I wonder, the rabbi that he had a conversation with, didn't he do an interview after that?
I don't know. You know what? That's the one Nick Cannon show I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I know he went on his show or something.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, they talk for the better part of an hour.
So it must not been nothing bad said about it.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, you know,
Nick probably was so quiet. Probably was scared to say anything.
Probably was. He probably was. I'm not gonna say that he wasn't. But you know, my whole thing is, if Nick, if they forced Nick to apologize, man, you know, that was just wrong. Nick should have just stuck to his guns.
On so many levels.
Man, you know, and I think that's the main reason that, I think that's the main thing that people have against Nick is the fact that he apologized for something he didn't even do. Because, like I said, when I heard that he apologized, I'm like, what, Nick? You didn't say anything wrong, brother.
Right.
But that's the thing that got to me.
Right.
Was the fact that he didn't say anything wrong. Now, if he had said something wrong, I'd be like, okay, Nick, yeah, okay, you apologize, man, because, like, you know, you was wrong when you said such and such.
Okay, so now let's get to Kanye West, because Kanye West gave a presidential, I guess, address, and I guess he was announcing his presidency.
He announced his presidency. He said something negative against the ancestor Harriet Tubman.
Yes, he did. And that's what I want to speak on.
Kanye. I mean, you know, of all the dumb things to do, you don't talk bad about Sister Harriet. That would get you an ass whooping. Literally. I'm just saying. But
you already said what, slavery was a choice?
Yeah, he said, yeah, that's the first thing he said that was stupid. And now this. He said that Harriet Tubman didn't really free the slaves. He just basically took them up north
so they can work.
So they could work for white people. Yeah. Which wasn't no black businesses open at that time.
That's what we had to do.
That's what they had to do. Yeah. But the difference is, but technically
was free to do it though.
Exactly. That was my whole point. That was my whole point.
Yeah,
they was free to do it. They did on. Hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
You said the point right there. You said the whole point right there, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So he was right in that sense. Yeah, they did work. They did go work for white people. They didn't have a choice.
Right.
At that time, they didn't have a choice.
Right.
That's what they
if
didn't have a choice about.
And sleep, they had to.
Yeah, they had to work, but they got paid for it.
Exactly. I was just gonna say they got those coins.
There you go. They got that paper. Yeah, they got paid for it. So
is that a choice too, Kanye?
Exactly.
Were they was supposed to get paid for it?
Come on now, say that, baby.
I don't know. I'm asking because I don't know. It make you wonder why would he say that. And what education did he? Where did he get that? That's what I would like to have a conversation with him. Kanye, if you can't call into the show, please. Seriously, I would like to pick his brain.
I would love to hear his thoughts on this situation.
Absolutely.
Too, because, like, you know, when he said that, man, I want to just pull him through the computer screen and give him a good thrashing. Man,
1, 2, 3.
So you know, it was.
Wow.
That was completely unnecessary. You talking?
I think I look at CNN all the time, and I believe Don Lemon. I think it was Don Lemon, but one of the reporters interviewed one of Harriet Tubman's ancestors.
Right.
And it was a woman. I can't remember her name, but she was devastated.
Of course, she was devastated. They're talking about the person that
to tarnish her legacy like that.
Really?
To make it seem like, I guess, is that a way of saying that Harriet Tubman was a slave master? Was that a way of saying that? Or was she a traitor?
He said that without actually saying the actual words.
That's what I'm saying. You might as well just say, just like you said, stand in your conviction. Right. Be yourself. If you felt like that's what she was, he should have said that. Yeah. Because the way he said it was so negative.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be twisted so many ways. If he meant it another way, he should have said it that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But you know, that's Kanye for you, man. You know, dumb shit can come out of his mouth no matter what.
But then, like you said, if you're speaking your mind, is that really mental health?
Good question. I mean, you know, because I have heard, like I said, this is just me talking. I've always said that Kanye wasn't right after his mom passed away. I've always said that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nothing against who he married. You marry whoever the hell you want.
Absolutely. I was just going to say it has nothing to do with them.
You marry whoever the hell
we were just having fun then, but yeah.
Right, exactly. You marry who you want to marry, man. And that's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
Whoever makes you happy, man. And then he went in on her.
That's all I just want to say. You know, he said some derogatory things about her too.
Exactly.
So it's like, is he happy at all?
That's a good question.
Is he happy with his ethnicity? Is he happy with his race? Is he happy with his wife, his marriage, his life?
Is he 100%? Is he 100% happy? You know, I mean, a lot of people.
But you know, let me interject this here. Okay. He did say that he suffered with bipolar.
Well, at least he admits it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he admits it. There's a lot of people out there that suffer with that particular disorder that don't want to admit it.
Right.
There was, for the longest time, some people saying, I think it was Robin Givens that said that Mike Tyson suffered from bipolar disorder. The reason why he used to beat her up, which I thought was a bunch of bull. We're talking about professional boxer that's knocking grown men 200 plus pounds out and leaving big knots on their head, and Robin Givens is what, $115? We're talking broken bones here. Come on, man. That man ain't hit her. I never believed that in the first place with that, but I digress. I've heard that he was bipolar too, but I don't know how true
Oh,
that
so he
is.
used to hit her?
According to her, she did.
Really?
According to Robin Givens, Mike Tyson used to beat her up.
Really?
According to
I
Robin
hadn't heard
Givens.
that. Well, I know they both did an interview when they was married. I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
And she was dogging him so bad.
Oh yeah, right. And why he was right
and he
there.
was just sitting there like a little child almost.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that interview. I remember that interview.
And I wonder, did she get, because if he was beating you, why are you talking like that? People who get beat don't talk like that.
Oh, come on.
I mean, because if you get beat, you sit there like a cool mouse.
You hit the nail on the head.
Small, you don't say nothing. So, I don't know. Oh, wow.
You hit the nail on the head.
Right.
You hit the nail on the head.
I don't know why you think she would. Bipolar. Well, I'm just thinking if you're a boxer and you get hit in the head 20, 30, or 40 times a minute, maybe you might, like my grandma said, you got a couple screws loose.
Yeah.
But does that constitute you being called bipolar?
Like I said, I never believed he was bipolar in the first place. I mean, Mike Tyson is just Mike Tyson. Thank you.
So other than that, I don't know. I guess we all have definitions, our own type of definitions of what bipolar is. But if you read the definition, what I'm doing here is pretty much the same consistency of mental health.
Okay, it is. It is definitely a mental issue. It's definitely a mental issue, and it's something a lot of people really can't handle. I mean, if you're on the outside looking in, it's a very, very difficult thing for people to take to manage and handle. It really is. I mean, because like if you're with somebody and somebody you care about has this mental disorder, it's difficult for you. It's very difficult to deal with. It really is, from what I understand. I've never experienced it myself. But
well, I have said you must be bipolar by the way they was acting, but I was just saying that because they were getting on my nerves. I'm just gonna keep it 100 right now, but not to know if they have been medically diagnosed with it. Could they have one attitude this hour, and then the next hour is this? I'm thinking, okay, what is this?
Well, what the problem is?
Yeah, but I heard that it's really a serious disease.
That's what I heard.
I mean, a issue. It's a real major issue.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And it's kind of hard to love, because they don't trust people.
No, they don't.
And they have a hard time communicating.
Yeah, they do.
And they turn into themselves and they beat themselves up. And, by law, I think they're trying to make bipolarism, yes, that is a word, bipolarism, a disability.
They should.
So if I just go down, just act crazy, then I get a check. How do they know how to diagnose it? Do you have to be medically diagnosed with it?
I think you have to be medically diagnosed with it. That's just
so that's severe for you to be getting a disability check.
Right. Wow. Right.
So that means you must just cannot cope with society on no levels that you can't even get a job.
Right.
Wow.
Or if you do get a job, you can't hold one down very long.
I don't know. That's serious.
It's a very serious thing, which is why I want to talk about this. That, and we got a lot of people out there that have bipolar disorder. Case in point, Kanye West.
Why do you think it's such a stigma? Why people talk about it like it's like this scary thing, but you don't have nobody going out for it? Please forgive me, people. I'm just going to speak my mind right here. You don't have much research on mental illness or bipolarism. It's like they have with HIV, or how they have with cancer, or either diabetes. You see all kind of research for different things, but you don't really see that many walks and cancer research teams and different what they call them fundraisers and for bipolarism and mental health. You don't see that. Is it because they don't really know what it is?
I think that's it right there.
Yeah, you have the cancer walk, and you have the diabetes, or you have the MS walks and all that. You have the bike rides, the 401k run, the 5K runs, and the big benefit dinners, and all kind of athletes giving their money, charity events.
Right.
But you don't see much on mental health until here recently. I must admit, like in the last 2 or 3 years. but it's not much information. 'Cause like when I was trying to prepare for this show, I didn't find a lot.
Well,
I didn't find a lot of information.
like I said, especially in the black community.
I mean, it's always been around. You think about it.
Oh, yeah, it's
we
always
just
been
didn't
around.
know what to call it.
It's always been around. It's been around since day one. I mean, we just didn't know what it was.
I think we call it, she crazy.
Exactly. That's pretty much
Or
it.
no, we used to say, they're a little slow.
Well, that.
Yeah.
They might say they're a little slow, but
Yeah.
I've seen some bipolar people, man, that were intelligent as hell. So you really can't say that. The only thing you got to do is watch what you say and do around those people.
Right,
You got to literally walk on eggshells around them.
Exactly. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you do, because like they might be up 1 minute and you say or do the wrong thing, they could snap.
Severely depressed the next.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we get.
And you be wondering, what did I say? What did
exactly.
I do?
You're like, dang, did I say something wrong?
We were just
did I
laughing.
say or do something wrong?
Yeah.
We were just laughing and yucking it up. I mean, come on, what's the deal?
Absolutely. Well, do you think is there anything that we can do as a society to get this more awareness out about it?
Just keep talking about it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can do at this point. Just keep talking
Would
about
it be an embarrassment to admit that there is someone in your family? I don't think, like, if I have somebody, like I said, I know I have some mentalness in my family. Like I said, we just call them crazy.
Right.
But if they've been medically diagnosed with it, should people be ashamed to say that? Or to even admit themselves, I've been diagnosed with a mental issue?
You know what?
Would you be ashamed to say that?
Probably not. No, I mean, probably not. If I have a mental issue, I would have to tell people flat out. Hey, this is.
You wouldn't think they'll judge you or want to not be around you?
You're gonna get judged no matter what you do. You're gonna get judged no matter what you do.
Right.
So you could be walking down the street, whistling "Nearer My God to Thee," and somebody start judging you. So
hear him over there whistling to us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So nothing you could do about that.
Yeah.
You're going to get judged no matter what. But the only thing you could do whenever you get judged is just don't let nobody talk to you like that. Right. I mean, just say, hey, it is what it is. Right. You don't like it.
My situation.
I'm aware of my situation. Yeah. Keep it moving. Mm-hmm. So that's all you can do at that point. Right. But to answer your question about the only thing we can do at this point is to keep talking about it, raise awareness to it. Yeah, because like in the black community, it's a big deal. It really is. And we need to get onto that. I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with being bipolar. I mean, with having mental issues. I mean, just like I said, we just got to bring awareness to it. Right. That's all we got to do.
Do you think there should be like interventions for it? Should it be just? I know you should have like I agree with you. There should be an abundance of open dialogue about it.
No doubt.
But if you find someone in your family is having, you can tell the change in them. Should you like an intervention as a family, or like back in the day, like I think it was this is just my take on. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But remember that movie when they tied the little girl to the bed because they thought something was wrong with her, and she was screaming all these words and spit on people, and they kept saying, well, she got issues.
Right.
I forgot the name of that movie. But would that be considered mental or bipolar, or did she really have satanic demons in her? Because it can be so many different levels of it.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because back during those days in the part of during the part of when they were starting to research mental issues, that's what they would say was wrong with them. They were possessed by demons.
What was that? You know what I'm talking about? The movie,
right? I understand.
I can't think of it.
But the thing of it is,
but instead she had issue. They said she had demons.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
That's what they did. That's what they did way back when.
Yeah.
That was in the 15, 16, 17, 1800s.
Right.
Back when they didn't know. And even back then, this is what they would do to try to exorcise those demons. They would cut
The Exorcist. You said it. That's it. Yeah.
What they would do is to try to exorcise those demons, they would do something called tree finding. And what that is, they would cut a hole in your head to let the demons out.
Oh.
I mean, they would literally cut a hole in your head, take out a piece of your skull, so they could let the demons out.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew you could put like this metal plate on their head and run all these shock waves. But I didn't know they actually did a cut.
Yeah, they would cut a hole.
So what, they supposed to seep out through the hole?
Yeah, demons supposed to come out, exposing your brain, mind you.
And go where?
And to let the demons out. That's how they used to do that. That's how you used to do it.
Well, I guess if they didn't know, they thought they was on the best
They didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
So at that time, they didn't know. They didn't know what it was. So if you start complaining of hearing voices and stuff like that. You better keep it to yourself, or they'll literally cut a hole in your head. So,
oh God, think you the devil's little sister.
Exactly, exactly, man.
Wow.
It's just wow.
It's just so much. It's like so many ways. Like I said, it's always been around,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess we never put a label to it, or even put a voice to it to now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. We have to, like I said, we have to get back to what we were talking about. Yeah, we have to start bringing more awareness to it, because with the way things are going right now, it's a very important thing that it's very important for us to do that. It really is, to talk about those things.
So now you want to move on to the big subject?
Let's go talk about it, man.
We're going to speak on cooning.
Oh, my favorite subject, cooning.
Cooning. Now, I did my little research on it because I didn't quite know that there were so many variations of it.
Oh, yeah.
And when I went to the trusted dictionary,
Okay.
it says, and I quote, coon is an extremely offensive slur for a black person. It's rooted in the racial history of blackface.
Yep.
It comes from a shortening of raccoon. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And it says, a black person can call another black person a coon, Uncle Tom, because of the way they engage in politics society.
Yep.
A non-black person can definitely not. I say this because I never want any black to see me or say that I'm a coon, so I will always be a certain way in public.
All right.
Again, that goes back to, are you being your true authentic self?
Most coons are. If you see somebody cooning, trust me, that's how they are in real life. When I see black people cooning, and I'm going to call some of them out. Jesse Lee Peterson. That brother is king coon, in my personal opinion.
Now, who is that?
Look him up, Jesse Lee Peterson. He is a coon. He has been on Tariq's show a few times, and that brother is a coon. There's a lot of coons out there. According to him, racism doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Just like Morgan Freeman, who definitely has a ticket on a coon train.
You think Morgan a coon?
Morgan Freeman said, and I quote, "Racism wouldn't exist if people just stopped talking about it." End quote.
Well, okay. I just pull up Jesse Lee people. That's why I got caught.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, man, some people out there, man, they take cooning to a whole new level. They were coon trying to get the adoration, get a pound of head from white folk, from white society. They will, from white supremacists. They will do that. It's a lot of coons out there. Larry Elder, he's another coon. What's that? Sheriff Clark, he's damn sure coon. Because the stuff that he says about black people, man, will make you want to just squeeze him till his eyeballs pop out of his skull. I'm telling you. Alan West, he's a coon. It's so many of them out there, man. That's just a few of them I can think of off the top of my head. Candace Owens, she's a coon.
Your favorite one, Candace.
Yeah, Candace Owens, she's a coon.
I wish you would call in, Candace, if you can, please. We'll let her talk to you. I have questions for her. I want to know how she was raised and where did she get her thought process from.
Well, see, the one thing about her is about Candace Owens that a lot of people don't know about Candace Owens is the fact that Candace Owens is not even a foundational black American. She's from immigrant background. She's from an immigrant background.
Really?
If I made no mistake, I think her people are Jamaican.
What? I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah, Google that. Yeah, I think I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. Candace Owens. If I don't kill her brother.
It says nationality American.
Yeah, she's probably born here, but her parents are not foundational black Americans. Her parents, I think, are from. From Barbados or something like that.
Really?
Something like that. They're from
so maybe that's where she, because their thought process is totally different.
Way different.
Well, I'm not gonna say all, but
not all of them
are totally different from like American.
Right, exactly.
I used to go to college with a couple of Africans and Jamaicans.
Oh yeah.
And they used to say all the time, "You guys are so lazy."
Oh yeah, I've heard
You
that
have
several times
every
over.
opportunity. No disrespect by marking them, but I'm just saying, you have every opportunity in the world. You won't take advantage. And it used to make me look like, what are you talking about? I'm in college just like you're in college. So how am I lazy? But yeah, they used to think we as born here citizens
Yeah,
are so lazy.
until they get a taste of their racism, then they change their tune. So, and I've always said that.
Exactly.
I have always said that. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, you can say we're lazy all you want to, but get a taste of their racism. I bet you will change your tune, and they always do. Cause I'm like you. I bumped into a whole bunch of different. Um, uh, 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 coons and from different countries and stuff like that. The first thing out their mouth is that we don't want to work, we're lazy, want something handed to us, blah blah blah. And I've had to set several of them straight when I was in college, man. I said, look, first of all, you ain't no different than me. Let's just be real, because like the second you got off that plane or boat or whatever hell you got off of that, you ain't nothing but a nigga to the rest of people. That's all you are. You're just a nigga with a funny accent.
Because if they look at you, they gonna put you in the same category as me. The only way they gonna tell your difference till you open your mouth,
right?
And they hear my country twang and your little special dialect.
There you go.
But if they look at us standing side by side, we gonna be still shipped over to the left in the black category.
There you go.
So,
there you go. You just like me, so you might want to kill that noise, brother.
Absolutely.
I've had to tell several of them that.
But it makes you wonder: do they feel like it by them? Like I said, I know everyone has their own opinion. You can't tell nobody how to think, be, whatever. But some of the things they say be so outlandish.
That's because they don't know.
Oh my God.
That's because they don't know. That's the main reason why a lot of them really don't know. They really don't know. So that's
what's stopping them from knowing, because like now, like I said, I'm finna Google it. They have everything out here in this wide world web.
Right.
If you want to know anything, or either just take it old school, go to a library
and pick up a book.
There
you go.
Learn, like I said, I think we had this conversation last week on the show. Do your research yourself.
There you go.
Don't let nobody else teach you what you think you should know. Do it yourself so you can have those thoughts in yourself. Now I'm just gonna give you a plug here. Before I met Reggie, I went to an all-black school. I went to 2 all-black colleges, and I went to another college. It wasn't mostly blacks, but that's another thing. I thought I knew my black history, but just being with this man, I have learned so much and become so aware of things I just did not know. First and foremost, things I was not taught in school.
Right.
But now I am learning.
Right.
That's what you need to do. I love everything. I love our conversations. I love our deep thoughts. But again, I'm still gonna read. He gives me books, recommend books to me all the time, and that's up on me to learn for myself and to judge my own opinion. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Do you think she really has done research to learn these things?
I don't think she has. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
From history.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think she has. I don't think she's done any research.
So you think these are all her opinions?
I think it's all her opinion, just her personal opinion. Because I've always been the kind of person that if I don't know something, you know this for a fact. If I don't know something, I'm going to research it.
Absolutely.
So when, it's the same thing with history. I had an issue with the history that I was being taught in school. So what I did was I took it upon myself to learn deep, to get deep into my history, because I know good and well that we just didn't pop up. Oh, we just gonna make black people slaves. That's it. And they don't have no history, because that's what I was told when I was in school, and I knew it was a lie. Right. I mean, come on, we got to have a history beyond slavery.
Correct.
So that's when I started going backwards, and when I started going backwards, the further I went back, the blacker history got. So with that being said, I've always been that kind of a person to research things like that. And I think people like a Candace Owens, like Tommy Sotomayor, like a Jesse Lee Peterson, they don't want to dig back into their history, because they're afraid that if they dig further into their history, that things might get too black for them. So that's sad.
Good thought.
And that's really sad too.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
It is.
But I thank you, sweetheart, for giving me that nice little plug. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, because I'm like I said, I'm always going. I'm not. I like I admitted to you, like you spoke on earlier. You recommend for the people to go out and read Malcolm X.
Right.
Knew of him, from the little bit they taught us in school.
And from the movie
Knew
Spike Lee
of
did.
him, the little bit that I learned in Black history in college. Because I did take a Black history class in college. Excuse me. Other than that, it was just those little tidbits.
And like I said, a lot of people didn't know who Malcolm was until Spike Lee did that movie came out.
And when he did the movie, and I was sitting there with my mouth wide open, because I didn't know that he started out that way and ended that way.
Right.
That's crazy. But
A lot of
that's how
people
you gotta
don't.
do. You gotta read.
You gotta read, man. You gotta read. I mean, just like the book I suggested you read, The Color of Law.
Right.
That opened your eyes to a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yes, it did.
So and
Yes,
that's pretty much what you need to do. You need to do that and expand your knowledge of what you already have. Expand upon what you already have. So, but back to cooning. A lot of these folks.
Naming some more names right now.
No. I'm done now.
You sure?
I'm positive. I ain't
talked
finished.
About one that kind of touched your coat a little bit.
Hey man, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm not gonna name no more names on the cooning subject, and I'm good on that. But they know who they are. I ain't gotta explain. I ain't gotta explain it to them. But and cooning, man, it's a really big problem. It really is. Let's go back in history a little bit. Let's go back to the Haitian the Haitian Revolution. Back then, this is what. Let me make sure I got the name right. Mackendall. This is what Mackendall did. They all went back to the swamps, and they started talking and planning what they were going to do so they can get themselves free. Because they knew if they went back in the swamps, and they knew that white people weren't going to follow them in the swamps. There's too much stuff out there that can hurt them. It's too much stuff that they were scared of. Black people weren't, because in reality, black people are more in tune with nature than white people are. We always have been.
Intuitive. Researchers, explorers.
Yeah, exactly. We're more in tune with nature.
Right.
We don't want to conquer nature. We say nature's over there, we're over here. We cool with nature, nature cool with us.
Right.
Right. But anyway, he went back to the swamps, and the first thing he did was all the French collaborators. We're gonna take them out, because the second they get an opportunity, they're gonna sell us out, and what we doing, what we did, and what we're going to do is going to be for naught.
Right.
So the first thing they did was they rounded up all the coons, all the collaborators, killed them. That's when, and then they said, okay, now we got them out the way. Now we can start this revolution. Wow. And to this very day, the Haitian Revolution, or as white people will call it, the Haitian Massacre, because a whole bunch of white folks got killed. The Haitian Revolution is the most successful slavery revolt in the history of the world.
Wow. See, history. Didn't know that. Yeah. Didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. So that's what my next question was. So white people can be coons?
I'm quite sure there's some white coons that white folks will deem a coon because they sold out the white race for whatever reason.
Sold them out for black people?
For whoever, not necessarily just for black people, but for anybody. But mostly for black people, of course. So because like for some reason or another, we're the dregs of humanity for some people.
The epitome of it all. Huh?
Oh yeah. We're just so evil.
Excuse me. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had never heard that.
Oh yeah. That's the Haitian Revolution. There's a movie out. What's a documentary? One of the last ones that Tariq Nasheed did. Shout out to that brother. Called 1804. I actually have it, so we'll have to sit down and watch it together one weekend so you can see what's up with it. Absolutely. But yeah, it talks about this. It talks about this in great detail. And on top of that, I had read several books on this thing about the Haitian Revolution. But Mackendall was one of the ones that pretty much started, him and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and the one that everybody knows about, Toussaint Louverture. So Denmark Vesey, he was over there too. He did his thing too. That's just a few of the people I can think of right top of my head. But there's been several people in that particular mode, and I just want to point that out because that's what they ended up doing. They got rid of all the coons before they got rid of anybody else. Because think about this: every successful, every revolution, every revolt that has ever been done in the United States, it was taken down by the coons. They would go back and tell the master, said, look, Nat Turner coming over this way. This is where he is.
Yeah.
That's how Nat Turner got caught up. Because he got sold out.
He got sold out by his own.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. That's how Nat Turner got sent up. Because of that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
And again, I asked this question, why do you think they did that? Were they jealous of Nat? Or they thought they had a good on master's land? Why?
Well, see, here's the thing about it. Back then, there was this thing out called meritorious manumissions. What that is, a white slave owner would free a black person if they did one of these things. One, if they did something that made the master money.
Yep.
Two, if they either risked their life to save the master's property
Or life.
or the master's life.
Yep, I knew it.
Three,
It's always gotta be.
oh yeah, three, which is what a lot of them did, tell on somebody trying to escape.
Oh yeah, there go that pimp game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are
Snitch.
you serious?
In other words, snitching.
Snitching.
Which is why to this very day, black people frown upon snitching.
Snitches get stitches.
Exactly. You know the saying. I ain't got to repeat it. You know the saying. So, you know, but that's the reason why. They was trying to get meritorious manumissions.
Yeah.
So
Seriously. Yeah.
that's why Nat Turner got caught up the way that he did.
It kind of sounded the same thing with Harriet. I think a lot of other people sold her out too.
Some people tried to sell Harriet out, but think of it this: see, Harriet knew who was going to sell her out and who wasn't going to sell her out. So she would
And
always.
that's the awful part. You know the person is going to do it. Like if I didn't know, I'd be like, who did that? Who did it? But now if you know the person, that's even worse.
That's just like Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan. He knows he's got some people in there in his organization that's going to snitch on him.
Wow.
He knows that. He knows he has agents in the Nation of Islam. He knows that. And I wouldn't doubt if he knew who they were. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't doubt that he knew they knows who those people are.
So in a situation like that, you ought to go to them and say, okay, I know what you're here for. I know what your next step going to be.
Right.
We're just going to go ask you to go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
Exit the building.
That's what a smart person would do.
Yeah.
But I think that Brother Minister is trying to see what they're going to do.
I guess this goes back to the Bible.
Look at Jesus.
and Judas.
Oh, Jesus knew Judas was going to sell him out. He knew that.
How can you sit there and break bread with
You saw him break bread with me.
You
He
wash
just so.
this man's feet.
I mean, come on, man.
And
Jesus
you know
pretty
he
much.
gonna betray you.
Jesus pretty much said, he told him flat out, and you come on, you read the Bible.
Absolutely.
One of y'all gonna sell me out. One of y'all gonna dime on me.
And he would have made one.
No,
not
brother,
me, Jesus.
no, not me, Jesus. Come
I'm
on,
gonna
Jesus.
be right there with you,
my
Jesus.
man. Or as we say in the hood, Jesus, you my nigga.
Exactly.
Come on, man. But
From the cradle to the grave, Jesus.
for sure. From the womb to the tomb, Jesus. Come
And
on,
then
man.
was
This
the
man,
main
you
one talking
brother.
about, that's him right there.
Yep.
He got on the white shirt with the sandals.
Yep. Yep. He came. Yep. And they were
my
walking in the street. They were
God.
walking in the damn street, and he said, "Whoever I kiss on the cheek, that's the man you need to get." He went up, kissed Jesus on the cheek. They arrested him. So anyway, but
How would you feel if you knew that? You knowing James gonna walk in here in a minute and just rat me out, and I know he is.
yeah,
You gonna sit here and wait for James to do that? You gonna go ahead and leave the premises?
I'm gonna leave. I'm out. But that's just me.
Me being me, I'll probably wait.
You
Because
know
I'll
what?
probably say something. They be like, Jane, you know, I know what you're here for. Have a seat so we can talk. I probably would say something. I really would.
Yeah.
Let him know you're not doing nothing I don't know about, brother.
Yeah. Right.
And I've been knowing you've been doing it for a while now.
Right.
But I would just wait for you to come in your sense of being and your sense of self to
Right.
know this is my brother.
Precisely.
Why my sister wear less, but why am I doing this to her?
Precisely.
I don't think I'll let you walk away like that.
Nah,
I
you
think
can-
I'll stay.
or you can't
But
give it
then-
up.
But before the popo come, be like, okay, I'm out.
There you go. There you go.
Had to
Just-
give you a piece of my mind, but
oh
I'm
yeah,
out.
exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God, that has to be like a hard.
That's
feeling
got to be the worst
know.
thing.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst thing in the world to deal with, man. Somebody somebody gonna sell you out.
Okay, so if in all the histories of cooning, do you think any of it has been justifiable?
No, I mean cooning in general is never justified. I give you another prime example. The Black Panther leader Fred Hampton. He was sold out by a coon. He was sold out. They shot
the
him in
Black
his. They got
Panther?
him in his sleep. Look up Fred Hampton. I forgot the guy's name, but he was sold out by a coon.
Wow.
He was sold out by a coon. I think he sold him out for $350.
What?
I think that was it.
I know, like, whatever time or frame or era that was, that probably seemed like a lot of money.
It was in the 60s.
But now when you said that, it don't seem like pennies.
That's exactly what it is. It's pennies to us now,
yeah.
but still, yeah.
But back then, that probably was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money back then. But, that was Fred Hampton, though. But,
Jeez.
man, that right there, and he was one of the leaders that could have made some big changes here, too. He really was. As a matter of fact, pretty much all of our leaders were sold out by people in their own organization. A lot of people don't know this, but Malcolm X was sold out by people in his own organization. That's why he got shot. Because Malcolm, a lot of people don't know this right here. What I'm getting ready to say, even though Malcolm has split with the Nation of Islam and started his own thing, he was trying to come back to the Nation of Islam. A lot of people don't know that. At the time, the leader, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, had ordered his people to leave Malcolm alone. They said, do not touch Malcolm. Anybody touches Malcolm, you're going to have to answer to me.
Correct. I remember that,
Yeah. So, with that being said, the people that were the agents were the ones that shot Malcolm. Because Elijah Muhammad knew he had agents in organization then. Just like Louis Farrakhan knows now. He knew then. And as a matter of fact, every black organization that we've ever had has been infiltrated by people that didn't do us any good. Marcus Garvey's organization, the UNIA, it was infiltrated by coons. They brought it down from the inside out. Wow. And that's what they're trying to do with the Nation of Islam right now. Same deal with the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
I was just going to say, we just spoke on that last week.
Yeah, we spoke on that last week.
And you said with them merging the cars, it's going to be someone.
It's going to be somebody out there. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. Well, you and I spoke about this morning. So what's the difference between an Uncle Tom and a coon?
Let's speak on that real quick.
Yes, please.
A lot of people get the term Uncle Tom mixed up. I mean, if you have never read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, you should never ever call somebody an Uncle Tom for this simple reason right there. For this simple reason right here. Uncle Tom wasn't no snitch. If you read the book, there's a character in the book, I cannot remember her name. She had a child. She had a husband and a child. Her husband had went up north because he was already a freeman. Okay? And she had a son. And her master at the time had sold her son to somebody else. She escaped with her son. Okay? Now, they had sold Uncle Tom to somebody, and Uncle Tom was on this ship, and there was ice on the river. Uncle Tom actually saw this woman crossing the river, risking her life to save her child. The slave catchers were looking for her. So, with that being said, Uncle Tom saw, and he could have sold him out right then and there, but he didn't.
Right.
He played like he didn't see nothing. Now let's speed up a few chapters in the book. Two female slaves were getting ready to escape. I think the slave master's name that owned Tom at that time was Simon Legree. I think that was it. I might be wrong.
I think so. That's what I'm reading right here.
And Simon Legree had, and that slave owner, I'm just going to say, I can't remember his name, but that particular slave owner had two really brutal slaves. One was called Sambo, one was called Quibo. Sambo and Quibo. Those two female slaves had escaped from that particular ruthless slave owner. Uncle Tom knew where they were and knew where they had went. Simon Legree told Sambo to beat Uncle Tom and make him tell them where those two slaves were. Uncle Tom refused.
Right.
They beat Uncle Tom to death.
Right.
So when I hear people say, "Oh, he's an Uncle Tom," I'm thinking like, "Oh, he's a hero."
Right. Exactly.
That's what Uncle Tom was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but so people need to get the story straight about Uncle Tom, because when you call somebody an Uncle Tom, that means you're calling somebody a hero. Because I remember one time back when Colin Kaepernick was doing his thing. Shout out to that brother.
Amen.
When he was taking a knee during the national anthem.
Right.
I had got on my Facebook feed and I said Colin Kaepernick is an Uncle Tom. people started trying to hand me my head.
Oh,
And so I told them flat out,
not knowing the true
the
history.
truth. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And so I clapped back at them and said, have you read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin? They said no. And I said, well, then shut the hell up talking to me. So, because they didn't know that Uncle Tom was actually a hero, which he was. He was a hero. People have to actually read the book.
Wow.
Read the book before you start calling somebody an Uncle Tom.
That goes back to do your research.
Right. Do your research. Don't just say somebody's an Uncle Tom just because somebody said Uncle Tom's a bad word. Because it's not.
Right.
You calling somebody a hero. That's what Uncle Tom was. So, you know, a coon and Uncle Tom are complete opposites.
Totally opposites.
Completely.
Even though people try to lump them together,
Right.
It's totally opposite.
It's completely opposite. Completely opposite. Completely opposite. Because Uncle Tom didn't snitch on nobody. He adhered to the no snitch rule. So there's that. So people
do
gotta
your
their
research,
history.
people. There's
People
so
gotta do
much
their
history we need to know that's been told us that is totally wrong.
Exactly. And I think another reason why that they equate Uncle Tom with being a sellout is because white people feel like that Uncle Tom betrayed them for not snitching. So that's why the whole thing about Uncle Tom became a negative connotation.
And did you know that Uncle Tom's Cabin was inspired by the real memoir of Josiah Henson,
Yep,
who
I
was
read
a
that.
slave, and
I
that
read
was
that. He was
actually
actual slave, yep.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow. Never
Yep.
knew that either.
Yep. A lot of
Just
people
thought it was a little ditty that the white man used to call us. So what black people were sitting around, the slave was sitting around talking about, you know, he Uncle Tom, he sold our kunta, you know, something like that.
Right.
Not knowing it's totally
totally
opposite.
It's completely different. Right. It's completely opposite. People have to.
Unbelievable.
It's like you said, people got to do their research. They got to actually read. And I've told people this several times over. You got to actually read the book in order to know that. So, and I've read the book. I read it in high school. Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote the book.
Right. That's
So,
what,
So yeah, definitely. You got to read the book, people. I mean,
So she must have sat down and just let him tell his story to her.
pretty much. And of course,
she
she took poetic license with it, add a few things here and there. But yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
But y'all just like we talked about that this morning. What's the difference between the two? But people think they're the same.
They're not.
They're not. Get it, people. Get it.
Yeah. Get it.
Okay.
Well,
Good subject, babe.
Definitely. You know, I guess we need to wrap this up. We've been on here over an hour. That's cool.
Wow.
That's all good. I'm like that. But
So much to say, because like I said, if we can just get some kind of, I don't know, what can we do as citizens, Americans, to get more awareness of? Like I said, I have seen it more prevalent now. And maybe it will take off now. Maybe it will get the recognition and the awards and the accolades to not to be ashamed of what you have. Because it's kind of like how it used to be with, do you go to therapy? Oh, no, you know, black people don't do that.
yeah.
But now, you know, black people, quote unquote, go to therapy is more now than ever.
Right.
Because they know that it is a sensibility that can help them, not hinder them.
Right.
And maybe we can do the same thing for mental health. And then we can break down those different categories as far as anxiety and bipolar and substance abuse, which I did not know those different categories of it.
Right. Honestly, I knew of a few categories, but I know it was that many. So, yeah. As long as we keep bringing awareness to that situation, talk about it more. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We need to talk about it more because a lot of times people don't want to talk about their mental state because I just use me as an example. Whenever certain subjects come up, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to go back to the state that I was in when I was going through that particular moment in my life.
You don't want to relive it.
Exactly, I don't want to relive it.
Right.
So if I say, you know what, hey, I really don't want to talk about it. Trust me, I don't want to talk about it. There's a reason for that. Nothing against the person I'm talking to. It's just that I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to go back to that, to that mind state. Because if I think about it, I might regress back to that depressive mind state. And I don't want to do that. So, but yeah, we all go through things, man. It's always best to talk about it. Therapy does help. I will tell people that.
Here are some suggestions for a positive mental health. Talk about your feelings.
Right.
That's what you just touched on.
Mm-hmm.
Keep active, exercise,
Mm-hmm.
eat well,
Mm-hmm.
avoid alcohol.
Yeah.
And they just said that was
Yeah.
one of the mental issues.
Yeah.
Now they're saying avoid it.
Yeah, alcohol. A lot of people don't know this about alcohol. Alcohol is actually a depressant. Yeah, it really is. So
It'll numb you.
It numbs you. There you go.
Exactly.
It numbs you.
It says stay in touch. Keep in touch with your friends and your family.
Mm-hmm.
Just let them know that you are okay.
Right.
Get help.
Mm-hmm.
Go to see a therapy or a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Take time for yourself. Take a trip. Go on a walk. Do things you're good at. Like as far as you are such an artist. You have different categories of artistry. So do things for yourself. Self-acceptance. Never think that you're less than anyone.
There you go. That's the number one thing right there.
Yeah. Because like I always tell people, I know I'm cute. If nobody else is cute, I know I'm cute.
That's what's up.
Because I ain't going to nobody. You got to at least admit it to yourself. If nobody else think I know I do, And then care for others. You have to have a caring heart.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to.
Definitely.
I mean, you can't go through this world without caring about something.
And I agree with all those
Or
things.
someone, yeah.
I agree with all those things, man. I agree with all those things. You have to definitely keep a positive outlook of yourself.
Absolutely.
I mean, because
there's a positive mental health.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of people have such low self-esteem until it's just like, wow, really? You really think that little of yourself?
Wow.
So definitely self-esteem is definitely a big factor in my personal opinion as far as mental health is concerned. As far as the cooning is concerned, if you're a coon, more power to you, man. Hope it's working out for you.
I just think cooning comes from people who don't want to do the research themselves, and these are all their own ideas, and they just formed into this big old ball, and it in their brain, and they spur it out their mouth.
I think that
because you cannot think like that.
I agree with you to a point. But I think most of the people that coon are looking for accolades from the dominant society. A lot of them are.
See, I didn't think about that.
A lot of them are.
That's another good point.
Oh yeah, a lot of them are. They're looking for accolades from the dominant society, and so that's pretty much what they do to do it. So, but I'm not going to sell myself out just to get no damn accolades. But that's just me.
Would you sell yourself out for a financial gain, though?
Hell no. No, it's not worth it. No, my grandmother and grandfather would come out of their grave and slap the dog crap out of me and say, boy, I taught you better than that. Come on. I wouldn't do it. Because I look at it like this, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to disappoint my mother. So, I'm quite sure that if I did something stupid like that, you would not look at me the same way.
No.
And I know my mom wouldn't.
No, we're not.
So
because you have no reason to.
Exactly my point. That's my whole point. I can't have
it. You go
that.
sleep on the bridge, I'll bring you a sandwich.
Hey,
I ain't gonna go with you. No, just play. But nah, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to justify your integrity like that.
Exactly. It's not worth it.
I know some people want that fame. I know some people want the accolades, but why distort your inner being, your inner peace? Because there's no way these people are with peace with themselves, even though they say it, and then someone bring it to their forefront and throw it back at them and say, "Are you sure you meant that?" And they keep trying to explain it to you. You keep trying to explain it, and we're still not getting it. That means it's not a good thought.
There you go. You
might want to take that thought out your process.
There you go, man. Just take it completely out. And
what is it? Control, Alt, Delete?
There you go, man. 3-finger salute, baby. 3-finger salute.
You just need to take that. Don't never mention it again.
There you go. Yeah. And as far as the buck breaking is concerned, oh man, I don't. Again, that goes along the lines of integrity. We were just talking about that. That goes along the lines of integrity. Stand on what you say, man.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Just stand on it. I mean, don't.
It's hard.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I mean, but don't sell yourself out.
Professional.
I know. Especially whatever.
Even in the industry, the Hollywood industry, it's hard because you still want to show your talent first and foremost.
Yep.
Of course, you want to collect those coins.
Of course.
But then, what level would you go to do that though?
What? Again, that goes along the lines of integrity. I mean, that's why, I like Dave Chappelle so much because he knew when to walk away. I'm not doing that. Damn that. Well, we gonna give you X amount of dollars.
And I was gonna say this too. We was talking about Kanye. After Kanye made those statements, you know who flew down to see him?
Who?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, really? trying to get Kanye straight because him and Dave Chappelle. I mean, because Dave Chappelle and Kanye are friends.
I saw an interview with him, and David Chappelle was. They didn't really like. They knew that paparazzi was there,
Right.
and Dave. He always try to like change the subject or whatever, but he was the first one that flew down, and him and a couple of his other homies, like childhood friends. But I think the only celebrity that I saw was David Chappelle. That go and talk to their brother.
Well, they're trying to get Kanye straight, man. I mean,
make sure he doesn't like it says here. Make sure he's good.
Yeah,
Make sure he's good.
exactly.
Stand in touch. Be like, okay, Kanye, we saw what you did. You okay?
Yeah.
I wonder did anybody do that to Nick?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Cause like unlike Kanye West, Nick Cannon doesn't have any mental issues as far as we know. Let's put it like that. So I think it's a little bit different scenario with Nick Cannon as opposed to Dave Chappelle. But again, you need to make sure that brother Nick is okay. So
check on him, y'all.
Yeah, check on brother Nick, cause
keep him lifted up. All of them.
Yeah,
Kanye too.
Yeah, keep Kanye. I mean, I might not
even
agree
Candace. Keep Candace lifted up.
I might not agree with everything everything that Kanye West does or says. Lord knows I don't. But as far as make sure that brother's straight. Yeah. Because he did something right. He renounced Trump.
Nah.
He did something right. Yeah. So I gotta give him accolades on that.
Absolutely.
But when you start talking about definitely. But when you start talking about Sister Harriet, it's kind of like when I draw the line, bro.
Oh yeah.
So
you gotta keep your Black history facts and facts.
Striking a nerve.
Yeah. So you don't want to restart that legacy. That's a long legacy.
Oh my God, yeah.
To try to tap dance on and throw any kind of salt on.
Throw no salt on that game right there, man. Just leave that completely alone. So just leave that alone.
Like I said, Control Alt Delete.
There you go, man. If it ain't right, don't even say it, bro.
Absolutely.
So
Good wrap up, babe.
Okay, yeah. So that's about it, man. So I guess we'll see y'all next week. Same black time, same black channel. This is Melanated Thought. I am Reggie Oak.
And this is Mimi the Lady.
Yes, indeed. What a lovely lady she is. And we out.